All right, good morning, everybody. Give me a couple moments, let you guys join, and then I'll be right with you. All right, so let's take a look here. We're going to look at futures. So here's a chart of futures right now. You guys can see, if you've been watching our streams, support and resistance levels. You'll see here some kind of horizontal resistance where price broke out. Now it's coming back and retesting, right? So when a stock breaks resistance then becomes support. So as you can see here, price is still, you can see moving average lines are kind of pinching. So the market's trying to, it's trying to push up right now. So bulls are coming in, trying to push it up, and now it's having the retest of support. So now we're going to watch and see if this is going to continue upwards, and you can see some angular or some horizontal resistance right up in this area, this 29.50 area. So we're going to watch and see if the market continues up. At the moment, again, kind of this indecision spinning top candle that's forming today. So we got to watch and see what happens. If it can continue and get these moving average lines to cross and push price up, it may continue upwards, but just be aware this peak right up here, you have a head, you have a left shoulder back over here. It could also form a head and shoulders pattern, which is a bearish pattern as well. So got to watch and see what happens. So let's take a look at a couple things here in the pre-market. If you haven't been over to our website yet, again, bullishbears.com, we post right under here a day trade or a penny stocks watch list each day by 9 p.m. And then several times per week based on market conditions, we post our swing trade watch list. So this is how we do our watch list for each morning and what we're looking at in the pre-market, as well as under the scanner section, we post trade ideas morning gappers by 9:15. So we take a combination of trade ideas and our watch list, and that's how we build what we're looking at for the open. So let's take a look at some from the watch list, and then we'll pull up trade ideas. So let's take a look at Jill. The reason why we had Jill in the watch list is you can see a potential, you have kind of a morning star pattern here. So this is a potential reversal pattern that may be forming. So we got to watch and see if this will continue and get above that $1.50 level, right? So right here for that morning star, if it can stay above $1.50 and continue upwards, you can see this big daily gap. So you can see that gap up in the pre-market up here, and now it's kind of dropped down. So nothing's really going on. It's all over the place right now. So got to watch and see. Either it's going to just keep dumping down and it's not going to go further up, or you can see right down here this $1.26 level. That's kind of some support from the Morningstar pattern. So with this right here, you'd want to see it get above the $1.50 level. If it can get back above this, see if it'll go up towards the gap. So was watching this one because, again, you have this gap on the daily. You might want to move up, and it's got some room to go. So this is one to keep an eye on. At the moment, it's not looking so hot. Next up, we'll look at IMGN. So with IMGN, another one right here, if it can get above that 220-ish level, you can see there's another gap between $2.34 and $3. So at this one, let's take a look at the hourly. It's kind of got a ascending triangle or a flag pattern there. It's above the moving average lines on the hourly. So this one's the one to keep an eye on as well. If it can get some volume, continue up. Just be aware of resistance on the daily with the moving. You can see the 20 here, and then that pink line is the 50 SMA around 250. So another one just keeping an eye on with the gap. So these are ones that right now not looking so. This is better in the pre-market. It's not dumping like Jill was. However, it's got definitely some room to go. So you'd like to see some volume, have it continue up, and then get above that 250-ish level. Next up, PLNHF. You have kind of a double bottomish pattern here. So you have bottom here, bottom here. If you can get above that 220s level, again, you can see kind of an inverse head and shoulders here. If you can get above 220, then look at some resistance between 250 to 270. Remember, we put these on the watch list as well because, you know, a good combination of trade ideas on our watch list. When you're a day trader, you're trying to scalp that 10 or 15 cents. You're not trying to hit home runs. So many a times when everybody's distracted by the ones that are on trade ideas, our watch list might pop off and go, you know, 20, 30 cents. You can scalp 10 or 15 cents out of it. And not many people are noticing them because they're distracted by the millions of shares on trade ideas. So that's why you want a combination. You know, sometimes our watch list will fire off right away. Sometimes they'll take a little bit of time. So that's why we put it on our watch list over here, as well as some of the ones on trade ideas to, you know, keep an eye on both. AVDL, here's another one, kind of a ascending triangle, right? Higher lows forming a flat top. If you can get above that 230-ish level and continue, it's a bit overextended on the daily. If it can continue up and get above that 250 level, keep an eye on resistance around that black line, which is the 200 SMA. BCRX, another one, kind of an inverse head and shoulders on the daily. Lots of overhead resistance at the moving average lines. But if it can continue up, you can also see kind of a double bottom pattern. So if this one can go up there, watch about that $4 level at the base of the gap. It may want to continue up and go into a gap level. So again, another one that has gaps to keep an eye on with a pattern of an inverse head and shoulders. And on the hourly, you know, you can see another inverse head and shoulders. So patterns playing out. You just got to see, is it going to get above that 9 EMA? And then that green line is the 13 EMA. So again, another one with BCRX to take a look at. So we have 3 potential gaps. Not saying they're going to go and fill, just ones to keep an eye on for sure. And then you have ELTK at this point. It's looking not the greatest pre-market. You might have a cup and handle-ish pattern here, but then you also have kind of a head and shoulders over here. So that's more of a bearish pattern. So let's take a look at some from trade ideas at the moment. So again, just showing you guys each morning here with trade ideas. We post the gappers right here. So you'll see the ones I posted from the watch list that I just went over. And then we're going to look at some of the top gappers again that we post in the mornings over here. So let's take a look at PRVB. So we'll put that one up, PRVB. And this one kind of has inverse head and shoulders-ish. You can see a left shoulder, a head, a right shoulder. You can kind of draw your trend lines kind of like this. So you got kind of a rising wedge pattern here. And so you can see it holding support. Oh, wow, this one really broke out. I didn't even see how high it is pre-market. Look at that. Oh, this one totally took off. 1290. So that really broke out of this rising wedge here. And it's got, yep, so it's got some news. So you have a kind of low, it's not really low floater. It's kind of a more of a medium, lower to medium float stock. And this one just completely broke out today, this morning. And you can see it's basically at all-time highs. So there's really no overhead resistance at this point. It broke out, but now it's obviously got to watch this in the pre-market or at open. You can see it's kind of, it's definitely pulling back a lot now. And so you can kind of see, is it going to hold support here and go and continue and break out? So this one's pumped way up there. Just keep an eye on it falling back. See if the patterns can hold support. This is going to be pretty volatile, I'm sure, at the open. So, but a lot of people are watching it, so we'll put PRVB on the list. Let's look at NBY. So NBY looks like that one is having a dollar breakout this morning. So let me put that one on the list. So with NBY, you can see this one looks like it has some news this morning right up here. And you can see pre-market high is $1.32. So you'll see kind of gapped up on news over $1. Now you got to see that 200 SMA. If it can hold that 200 SMA around the $1.24 level, this definitely has some room to potentially keep going up. Just so you can see again, it's pulling up, coming back down to the moving average lines. So now you got to see, is it going to continue back up and break above $1.32, or if it fails below that $1.32 level, it could be a double top failure. So we'll keep an eye on NBY as well. So NBY, PRVB from Trade Ideas. Let's take a look at what else we got. TEUM. Let me remove these drawings. So TEUM, no news. This was selling off, held support right around that $2 level, that whole dollar amount right down here. Kind of has a inverse head and shoulders-ish or kind of cup and handle-ish pattern here. Let's see if kind of angular resistance here. If it can break above that $3 level, right around that black line, which is the 200 SMA, if it can hold that 310-ish area, it's got some room potentially up to that 370 level. Let's take a look at the hourly as well. Probably that 350-ish level as well, that 50 SMA right there. So this may be doing a little bit of a reversal. If it can get above that 20 EMA, it might have some room between 3 to 350-ish level. So TEUM may be one to watch. So at this point, got to watch and see with PRVB. Let's take a look at that one again. Right here. So that's the hourly. Looks like a flag. All right. Got to wait and see. You can see here in the 5-minute, really gapping up, pulling back. You want to see it break out above that kind of that $12 level. See if it can break above $12.90. If it fails at $12.90, then you could have a potential double top. So this is one to watch and see. You want to see these moving average lines separate and push price out of angular resistance and get above that right here, that $12 level. And hold. Remember, this is at all-time highs right now, so don't be surprised at some point if this thing dumps. We got to watch and see. I'm sure a lot of eyes are on PRVB this morning. And again, NBY. Let's see here. With NBY again, you can see right up in here, kind of drawing your, your resistance levels right here. It's kind of doing a pennant-ish or symmetrical triangle-ish pattern. So you can see price is kind of in this range here. If you're looking at NBY, you want to see it break out. And then you can see pre-market high of 132. And yeah, so that one's got some room to go. If it can hold that, continue and break out of here and get above that 132 level, this could have some room to run. Or if it fails at 132, it'll be a double top failure. So I'm going to go in, give you guys a few minutes here, show you guys our day trade room. Let's go take a listen to Creed right now and see what Creed's up to for market open, and give you a few minutes and let you guys see how we are talking live in our trade room. I'll be with you guys probably in one moment here. Creed's getting ready for the bell, so we'll give it a second, and I'll come back for you guys in a moment.
Alrighty, peeps. 50 seconds to the bell. Make sure you trade your plan. Don't get scared. Emotion is your enemy in this. Just keep it statistical. Make sure your cats, dogs are not on the keyboards. They tend to like to make trades for you. Hedgehogs.
So as you guys can see so far at the bell, you can see Creed has a multiple charts set up for stocks that he's watching personally at the bell. You can see he has a mix of some higher price stocks today. It looks like he might be going in day trading options today. So you can see, again, just diverse trading styles. We do a mix of larger caps as well as low float stocks.
Alrighty, peeps, market taking off. ES at 2889.50, SPY 28921. We're getting a little small pop there right at the open, pretty much expected. Starting to see a little bit red. Waiting for those first couple candle prints. You never want to buy exactly on the first candle, as that does not give you enough relevant information for a move. 1 is not a trend. 1 is an occurrence. 3 is a trend. 2 is optimism. So Roku fading off a bit here. NQ getting a pop. SPY looks like it's wanting to make a hammer so far. There we go. Oh, getting our move. All right, getting our little morning pop here.
Guys, keep an eye on NBY that was showing from the pre-market. Looks like it may be trying to retest angular resistance right below that 120. So keep an eye on NBY. This one right here. Right up here. So here we go. See, now it's starting to break out. See if it can hold. If it can hold, keep an eye on it and see if it can get above that 132 level.
SPY.
Yeah, strong open on the Qs and futures so far.
Strong move up now. NQ at 7487. ES at 289175. Roku setting up current at 102.65 on the 2-minute chart. Squeeze firing down.
So as you guys can see on NBY, it kind of broke. It was breaking out. Now it's retesting right here. So you can go on the 1 minute chart here. So it kind of broke out. Come back. The retest is struggling to hold. So at this point, you know, it's kind of trading sideways in this range. That's why at the opening bell, it's only 3 minutes in. You got to let the patterns play out. So at this point, we're waiting for potential patterns to form. We're keeping an eye on our watch list, as well as what's running on the scanners. So we got to let things play out. The market is taking off at the moment, which is looking good. So now we got to watch and see if the stocks start to run with them.
It's about to see a turnaround. There we go. 182, 199. So even though our underlying's moving down, our options price isn't going with it. It's not giving me the volatility I need on that just yet. Damn, reserve it off. Amazon, though, still looking good. 2, 4. I got 30 seconds till my candle close. Yeah, we'll hop into the Amazon position. All right, first 5 minute candle print. We're good. Making our next candle up. How are we looking right here?
Guys, let's take a look at TEUM over here. With TEUM, you can see it's still struggling here, maybe wanting to get above that $3 range. So see if it can kind of cup and handle-ish pattern here. See if it can get above that $3. It's trying to, looks like it's trying to make a way to break out of that $3. So got to watch and see. It's hitting some resistance. So if it can break out of $3, you want to see that $3 breakout, hold, and then continue up, and then look at some resistance.
There we go. Roku falling off now. 101.08, continuing to make its move down. Firing off of that squeeze.
Let's go and take a look at some of the other ones this morning, see what might be running right now. So with NBY, still struggling. It's below angular. It failed angular support right here. So now it's kind of up against it. You want to see it break above it. Right now it's a little bit struggling. So now you have what I was telling you guys about earlier. If it can't break pre-market high, now you have a top and then a lower top. Now you're having kind of a double top. So at this point, it's kind of like a double top failure. So that is a bearish pattern. At this point too, with PRVB, you can see at open it couldn't break above, right? So now it's falling, and at this point it's at angular support. If it can't hold here, and you can see these moving average lines bearish at the moment, so this is now a bearish pattern. TEUM, again, it's kind of right up against it, right below that $3 marker. So for this, you'd like to see price break above that $3 level and continue up, and then see if it can get above that 320-ish level. Again, just things not looking the greatest right now. The market's up. The patterns are not playing along with it at the moment. Same thing, arrows. These are the ones that are running this morning. Just Not looking
All right,
so
guys,
hot.
looking at some pennies. I see TEUM, possible short squeeze today. There is a breakout area over $3 that would need to confirm. While looking at TEUM, it's got very high relative volume,
$3 right
a
here.
wide daily range so far, and the short float's around 20%. So that's a good squeeze candidate. But again, over $3 to confirm that. Right now, I see 304 resistance.
Right there, right in this range here. There you go.
Looking to see if I get my fill here on the Amazon position. No fill just yet. I set it up with a bracket order of what I was happy to do with, but no fill just yet, and it's already moved its way up, so I'm going to exit out of that position.
So HCR is moving up right now.
Or I guess not exit out, but cancel that order.
Let's take a look at the daily on HCR.
Nature of the beast.
This one doesn't really have a history on it, but it's moving up in the
price is getting a little
up right now.
Too rich right now. We're almost
really
at our
overextended
10-minute
at the
candle
moment. So
here.
HCR is
for the
taking
first
off.
part
You
of the
see
day.
a pullback on this one. I don't like how on the daily chart there's not much of a really a history to go
TEUM.
off of.
Yeah.
You can see some support here right now. I guess you'd say.
All right, so
that
AMD's
230
rolling
range.
over. XBI's at support. Apple's at support. Really just AMD looks like profit taking. Apple might be seeing some
IDEX,
profit
so this is
taking
what you're
too.
looking
There's
for,
a very
guys, these
tight
flag patterns
channel
right
there.
here. So let's
I
do
could see that
this.
pulling back maybe even to 190. So that's a good $2
right below that
$2 potential
mark.
drop. A little bit of a divergence from the Qs where the Qs are moving up. ES is moving up. I would still look for potential dip buys today, considering how strong ES and Qs are.
Let me go over and post this in the chat room.
Agreed. Yeah, we've got a nice little rise here off of NQ. Current trade 7509.50. High of day 7511. Looking to see if Roku continues a failure on the 2-minute, or if we begin to enter a bear flag condition here.
So here's flag number 1.
101 is acting as support at the moment.
Flag potentially number 2.
Amazon battling with the 1850 moniker. High of day 1848.24.
So we're going to watch if IDEX can break above $2. Right now it's showing some weakness, but see if it can hold this 9 EMA and potentially break above $2. Do you want to see it hold that 9 EMA and ideally push above $2? So $2 is really important.
If I can get a good pullback on Amazon, I'll look to re-enter the position, but I was not going to chase it off of the off of that move from my initial entry.
Watch and see if you'll get a hammer here that'll hold on the 1 minute. Just be aware after the second pullback, you got to be very careful. You can see 1 pullback, 2 pullbacks. See if a hammer will hold that 9 EMA. If so, it might be one to keep an eye on. It's definitely on the edge right now at the moment. It's a little bit bearish. Gotta watch and see, kind of right in this range right here. See if you can kind of get a nice green hammer or a doji that'll go off that 9 EMA and go to break out, to hold and potentially break out of resistance to get above $2 range. Again, 5 minute, not looking so hot right
Roku
now. So
feathering up a little bit right here, but has not made a hard determination on one way or the other.
you guys can see right now showing some weakness. That's why you got to let these candles play out.
Puts on it, though, are starting to gain some momentum here. So I'm curious if we're going to just go ahead and get a rollover, but I'm going to wait for confirmation one way or the other before I enter the trade.
So at this point, you can see it's a red bearish candle. That's not so hot. However, it is bouncing off the 13 EMA. So now you got to watch and see right in here. Are you going to get a close right in here above the 9 EMA.
All right, so Cron's in a nice little 1 minute bull flag. You got 1670 is a key breakout area. It's where it failed before. It looks like it's already pulled back a little bit from that zone, but it does have nice momentum. There's a possible, let me see, is this an ascending pattern? There's a bit of a rising wedge on it, so I guess that's 1670 is kind of the top of the wedge.
Right at Cron.
I would look for traders lining up below 1670, and if you see a bullish pattern lining up somewhere close to that resistance zone, then there's potential for 17 and 1715. I've been waiting for a momentum push to that zone, but we just want to see everybody getting in position and then line up with them for a breakout.
Here's a chart of Cron, guys. It's kind of in that symmetrical triangle-ish pattern right now. See if it can break out. Get
Roku faltering back a little bit here to the support zone of 101.
Oh.
NQ high day 75.17. SPY current at 28975. That's up 75 cents from the open. ES at the top of its 5-minute channel VWAP. Looking to see if it's going to hold or rotate. There we go. ES moving up now, 75.275.
Guys, look, let's go over to PRVB from what we were talking about earlier this morning. PRVB.
TEUM trying to get above $3 or stay above $3, I should say. Still have resistance on the 200 SMA 5-minute is right there, roughly at 304.
See if PRVB can get above $12 range. If so, watch for 1290 resistance. So you can see it's breaking out over here, but it's still got to hit this above this $12 range. If it can break and hold 12, watch for 1290 resistance. And you have on TEUM right here, this kind of that cup and handle-ish pattern. Look and see if it can get above. So you got kind of a handle here forming, kind of right over in here as well. So right in this range right here, if it can get above that 305 range, next look up for that 320. This may kind of has an inverse head and shoulder, left shoulder head, right shoulder.
Watching Roku for the double bottom here, 106.5 is the basin for that double bottom. Looks to be that we're going to fail it. I love it.
All right, guys, I'm going to pop out over here for right now out of the trade room. Just wanted to give you guys a little preview here. If you're not a member of our community yet, we are the Bullish Bears. We have a few different trade rooms. We do most of our live streaming in our day trading and swing trade room. We also have a futures chat room. So great places for you to come and learn. Just as you guys can see, you know, this morning we started off on the pre-market. Just showed you some stocks that we're looking at. Sometimes those stocks take off, sometimes they don't. That's why we have scanners. We show our trade ideas live each morning. We're all in there talking about different trade ideas. Some days are more action-packed than others based upon what's happening in the markets. So as you can see, kind of there's some indecision going on this morning. So again, we show you the goods, we show you the bads, when the market's trading sideways, all that good stuff. So we have, again, a couple trade rooms over in here that you can watch us stream live. We do it for a couple hours every morning. Each night by 9 p.m., we post a day trade watch list. And then several times a week we post our swing trade watch list. So if you come over to our website, check these links right here daily, bookmark these pages for our watch list. So you'll be able to see what stocks we're looking at. And then we have an alerts section over here. So for people that are paid members of our website, we have two different types of trade alerts. We have our trade alert setups. These are areas that are key breakout and breakdown areas. If you watch our our YouTube channel, you'll see lots of watch list videos that we make. You'll see how we set these alerts up. These are trades that you're going to decide whether you're going to enter or exit. So we show you how to set up the alerts. Just because an alert fires off does not mean you should take the trade. You obviously need to know how to trade first. So this, again, just read this page for how our setups work and watch our watch list videos to see how we kind of set these each day. Then we also have our real-time trade alerts. So we actually do real trade alerts on larger cap stocks. We are not a pump and dump service. We don't pump penny stocks. So we don't call entries and exits on penny stocks. We show you live what we're looking at, just kind of what I was showing you earlier and in the trade rooms. But we are not a pumping service. So we're not telling you to enter and exit and chase us on those volatile stocks. So we're teaching you live how to trade them, but not pumping the stocks to you. With real-time trade alerts, these are on large cap stocks. We do call allow you to follow our trades that we're making with our options trades. You can trade shares of the stock instead of options if you'd like. But again, we offer kind of both services. Some people like to just trade on their own and just look at the setups, and then some people want to follow our trades. We do offer both to our members. And then we have our courses over here. We have a few $1,000s worth of free courses to help you get started. And again, we have our scanner section right over in here. So like we post trade ideas every single day. So the link will be below. We do have a 14-day trial. You can come and try us out and, listen to us. Again, we're going to at least 11:30 every single day in our trade rooms. So come and join us. Hopefully this video helped you guys, and have a great rest of your day. Enjoy.